Hello, you beautiful legends, and welcome to Blunt Force Healing Podcast. This is 22nd of May, and as you can probably see if you're following for a while, we're back in Ireland after our holidays in Portugal. We were in Portugal since the May 10th until yesterday, so roughly 11 days, but was 10 nights. And as you probably know yourself, it was even less of a holiday because first and last day is usually spent traveling, so almost every holiday that you fly out and fly back in ends up being shorter, 2 days shorter. Thursday is the day, so a couple of small updates. First of all, it was a very long day yesterday, so I was really tired when we arrived. We came back to Donegal past midnight, hence my previous update yesterday that was done earlier a little bit, because I knew that I will be driving, so I won't be able to record it with my wife and Julian in the car. But yeah, I didn't go to sleep straight away. Julian and Elizabeth went to sleep while I still got stuck on some stuff, as I usually do. It's very unhealthy, I can feel it, so I need to stop doing it and start getting to sleep at least before midnight. But recently is very hard for me to achieve at times. It's very patchy at best. Sometimes I stay until 3-4 in the morning, and sometimes I go to sleep around 11:30 p.m. So it's like my body, you can feel in my body that it doesn't know what's happening, or it cannot predict any pattern, so it feels tired, and I feel tired when I wake up. And it was the same this morning. That was my point. But yeah, in the morning we dropped Julian at school and sorted a couple of things like grocery shopping, unpacking stuff in the morning because we didn't have energy to get our bags unpacked yesterday for obvious reason. It was very late. And then we decided to drive to Resync to see how the area looks. Not that I was expecting it to change much in 10-11 days, but yeah, we just wanted to get back to the area where we very often operate with the sauna, and tomorrow we will be operating with the sauna. But today is still day off to get around, resync with everything. So we went on for a 5k walk along the beach. The weather is still amazing. It's a very unusual streak of 20 plus days of sunny weather, almost without rain. I think there were maybe 2 or 3 occasions where it actually rained a little bit, but if you compare the rest of the day and the weeks in general as a whole, the big picture, it's still a streak of amazing weather, and it keeps going, as you can see through the window. So yeah, we enjoyed the walk. We got to the bakery shack, got some coffees and snacks, and also checked first if our business cards and leaflets are going. And it turned out that they ran out completely. I was the suspicion of my wife that they ran out during our stay in Portugal, because the indication was, while the business cards and the leaflets were still in the bakery shack, we were receiving follows and likes from time to time. Mainly we are interested in getting new potential customers or new leads, so new follows, so we get exposure and people know about us. And the bakery shack is a great place because there's a lot of people going through it. Of course, not exactly our audience in majority, because they go for coffee and snacks, but we know the owner of the bakery shack, and he always tries to get some innovative stuff in there, new products, new foods and things like that. So people like it on the verge of a fancy place, and we are also in the space of hopefully fancy stuff. So it kind of works together. We are recommending Bakery Shack every time we speak to people and ask them what's next on their schedule. If they go for food or for coffee, we always try to fit or frame the Bakery Shack in the picture if possible, unless they go for a real kind of dinner, a restaurant or something. And obviously it's not that type of place, but if they go just for lunch or some quick food and some maybe coffee or sweets, then obviously it's a first recommendation from us. And yeah, after that we drove straight to pick Julian from school. He was happy to see the guys again and blended straight back in. Tomorrow he goes for a 7-a-side soccer competition in Letterkenny, but today it was just a low-key day. And yeah, we don't plan on a big dinner or anything like that. We already have products ready, so I decided to use some daylight and go to Eni, which, if you follow long enough, especially from last autumn maybe, or even springtime, then you know the place, because I go there fairly frequently when it's season for mushrooms. And this is exactly what I'm going to check now, if there are any mushrooms in the area, because there was some precipitation. This is like a shaded area, so it might be okay for some species already popping up. So I'm gonna check it and see if anything showed up. And why it was triggered, it's not like I'm keeping a calendar when do I start the mushroom season, because mushrooms grow all year round, obviously different species in different moments. But when we were still in Portugal, and I think said that in one of the updates, we went with Julian in the evening to revisit Monte de São Bartolomeu, which is a very peculiar peak that is just sticking out like sore thumb. Well, maybe not like sore thumb, because it's usually derogative or kind of negative saying, but it's very prominent in the area and it's very close to Nazaré. You literally can walk to it about 40 minutes from Nazaré and then climb it in the next 10-15 minutes. It's very steep but fairly easy to climb, and it has stairs because it's like a small don't know how to call it, not a church, but it's like a place of prayer. It's obviously a Catholic thing where people were going to pray in a kind of solitude. So it's a very interesting spot, especially so close to Nazare, and like the modern amenities everywhere, and that one particular mountain with that little kind of building on top that you can see is very interesting. So we revisited there. We took 2 pictures similar to those that we took the last time when we were there in 2021, just to reminisce a bit in between and see the difference between the almost 4 years since we've been there, how Julian grew. It's just amazing to see how fast he grows, and in general. And while we were still at the foot of the hill or the mountain, there is a little forest there. And it's not like a regular forest that has a very friendly soil for plants and mushrooms. It's more of a sandy ground with just a surface foliage. But we saw a huge mushroom in there, and then I realized there's more of them, and they are from the same family as the bottom or button mushrooms that we buy in the shops, that are just kind of they are grown for food industrially. So it's the same family. It's edible, but unfortunately it can pull a lot of bad stuff from the earth, like the heavy metals. So it's advised to be careful, to eat it only in the areas that are very, very clean and safe. It's not toxic in general. It doesn't include any toxins out of the box, so it's safe to eat mushroom and pretty tasty. But the same family also holds typical toadstools and toxic mushrooms, so you need to be sure that you're actually collecting the right mushroom and you identified it right. It's called the Prince in English, the common name. It's Agaricus augustus. It should be appearing in most places in Europe and North America around August, so late summer. But for some reason, Portugal must be so different in terms of climate that it's shown up in May. And it was already well grown, so it must have been there for good 2-3 weeks. So I suspect it was end of April that it started growing. So quite interesting thing. I know I'm nearing 15 minutes, so it's probably the longest episode so far. So let me just trim it a bit, because I was meant to be doing 5 minutes updates, not bloody 15. I'm going to Ini. We'll see if I find any mushrooms. Probably not, but you never know. Hopefully I won't bring too much ticks with me. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a great rest of the day wherever you are on this beautiful planet. I know you're dialing from different time zones. Stay tuned and see you again in tomorrow's episode.